Well, thank you very much indeed, our correspondent Sheon Okimbaloye, bringing us up to speed on what's happening in the Maryland area, but also in Lagos. We understand in PU17 in Lekki area of Lagos, we have those images coming on social media. We see that now, other than in place of the cubicle that you've seen, several voters or VIPs vote in, we see that they use a rope and a cloth. You know, they don't have a cubicle in PU17 in Lekki, so they may need to attend to that. But, well, we also did bring you moments ago, the ANN presidential candidate, while he was on the queue to vote, while it appears he's done the voting now. Let's hear what he's got to say about the process.
Voting for my party, and I'm voting for a new Nigeria, so that it's a great feeling. Nigeria is at a junction, and we have the opportunity to choose a new direction for our nation and a new generation of people that will lead us there. And I'm very excited that that's what we're doing. I guess that's the excitement a lot of people feel out there.
So what did you think about the process?
Well, the process is quite slow. And I'm hoping that we will be able to find a way to speeden that up. A couple of the card readers, the batteries had run down and they didn't have recharge. So we hear that they're bringing rechargeable batteries and all of that for them. We hope that they can speeden up the process, otherwise people are going to get very frustrated. And so we're hoping for the best.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Durotoye just said people could get frustrated in the process. These are also feeds just coming in moments ago of how the frustration is being felt by some other people in other areas concerning the process. Some are complaining that INEC hasn't, the presence of INEC hasn't been recorded. Those materials haven't come. They haven't seen the INEC officials. And they pretty much, as usual, have their PVCs, so they're just waiting for this. So let's just try to see that we exercise some patience according to Festus. And
that is TBS in Lagos.
Yes, this is TBS in Lagos. So it's a dire situation that perhaps INEC should begin to speeding up the processes, even as they get this report from either their situation room or right here on Channels Television.
We also understand that something else is coming up from Bauchi as well. The information reaching us now. And,
well, we understand also in Bauchi, voters are growing impatient at. Well, this is the one you. Okay, this is also at Tafawa Balewa, the Gabas Central Polling Unit in Tafawa Balewa local government area of Bauchi, as voting is yet to commence. This, they say, as at 11:50 a.m. The card reader isn't working. Electoral officials have refused to comment, we understand. So this is the information coming through from Bauchi.
This is a bad situation, because in Tafawa Balewa you'd expect that it's one area that you can get just about anything as smooth as possible. But for this to be happening, it's a major concern for not only the parties and the candidates there, but should be a concern for INEC, especially. Look at that crowd. Look at that crowd all waiting for INEC to begin the process and get through it. So this is another information that INEC can use very quickly and mobilize if they haven't gotten their ad hoc staff there to do so just as we speak right now.
Well, one can only hope that all the situation rooms in Nigeria at this time are agog with activities. Situation room of the civil society, situation room of INEC, and God forbid that this will snowball into something bigger. The situation room of the police will also be very, very active at this time. From what we can see, I haven't noticed in this Bauchi Center, for instance, I haven't noticed one security official in this environment, and that should give one a bit of a concern. God forbid that their patience boils over.
Well, you know, from TBS Lagos to Tafawa Balewa in Bauchi,
to TB in Tafawa,
they have challenges that they like them to address. But guys, don't forget, I mean, much as INEC will tell us, they need to get back to their situation room that largely it may appear to be going on well. At the time, But, I think that the focus will be on those areas that things haven't gone right. So, yeah, it's expected to go right in all of the areas.
Yes.
But if there's one or two areas that there are challenges, that's where the focus should
because
then be.
This is indeed, for Tafawa Balewa, it's within the catchment of the Southern Senatorial District of Bauchi State, where the Speaker of the House of Representatives is from. So this is very, very important that we don't get to that point where there are concerns and complaints that the process didn't go as much as it ought to have gone, so that INEC will swing into action now and ensure that those sensitive and non-sensitive materials and the presence of their ad hoc staff gets there immediately. We
did green when one of the guests said earlier in Abuja, in the event or at the end of the day, whether people will accept the results or not. But you never know, and come to think of it, it could be that these kind of incidents may be the deciding factor, because if it happens that the elections are so close, perhaps between the two leading parties, what happens? So you want to avoid scenarios like this, where you don't have anyone looking back and thinking, well, if this had happened in a particular way, maybe certain things, or it may have swung in their direction. But we expect and do hope that INEC will focus on some of these areas that they have highlighted, even though we still expect the INEC Director for Voter Education, Mr. Festus Okoye, he said he was going to get back to us with some information. So while we wait for that to happen, let's come to our studios here. Mr. Bamalabi, you went through, of course, goes through areas before arriving here. What did you see while you were coming to?
Well, coming to your studio, obviously I was coming from Lekki. Admiralty Way, there was a polling booth, 12 is the number. Lots of voters were out there already, and I'm talking about 9:30 a.m. No one, not a single INEC official, not a single police person, no official was there at all. They flagged the car down because they saw the channel's logo on the car, and we stopped to talk to them. The one good thing was they said they're going to stay there until whatever happens at the end of the day. So there was determination to vote, and they were great Nigerians. Past that, I drove through Alexander Avenue in Ikoyi, past 3 polling booths. All 3 had no one there. At the third one, I saw the INEC officials just arriving. Again, went past those, past Dolphin Estate, no officers at all, just lots of voters waiting, milling about, and no officials there. So, INEC clearly, they say they're prepared, but they're clearly overwhelmed, and we really have to revisit the whole process.
Does this have the capacity to undermine the credibility of the elections, in your view?
Naturally, because if people are out there and some are patient enough to stay until whenever, others will get frustrated and go away, and citizens have a right to vote. It will make those who didn't vote, who are disenfranchised due to the inefficiency, feel that this wasn't a free and fair and credible election.
Would you say that INEC perhaps needed more time, more than the 1 week it said within which it will get ready?
INEC needs far more time. I headed an observer mission to South Africa. Their equivalent of INEC gets their budget in a 4-year cycle. So they get funding from the end of the last election in preparation for the next one. The Nigerian equivalent gets its budget a year before. That's just not sufficient time. So we've got to look at all of that. You can't expect them to do the impossible. It's a huge undertaking. This is a huge country with huge infrastructural issues. And so regardless of who heads INEC, we will keep having these difficulties and challenges until we revisit the Electoral Act and make it more fit for purpose.
Dr. Ashiri, what did you see on your way?
Well, on my way, virtually all the polling units had INEC officials and people waiting to cast their vote. So,
which areas were those?
Bariga,
okay.
Oworoshoki, Ogudu, Ojudu, Eraxis. Quite a number of them were there, and the electoral officials were also there.
Okay, so we'll just go ahead now. I understand that we've got our correspondent Victoria. She's okay, guys. Where is Victoria? Victoria, what's happening where you are?
The situation report from Victoria Garden City in Etiosa local government area of Lagos State. Now, so far, voting has started. It has commenced and progressing rather slowly. The Vice President, who arrived at about 10:20:25, voted at about 10:53. Feladro Toye also voted. He complained about the process as being a bit slow, and we spoke to an INEC official who said 3 of their voting card readers wasn't working because of battery failure. Now, there's still a crowd of people behind me who are still, waiting for their names to be called so that they can cast their vote. So far, the process is going on. About 2,500 people are accredited in this polling center, and they can vote. And I think about a large chunk of that number of people are here at this time. A lot of people have voted, a lot of people have gone home, and the process is still going on gradually. Victoria Idowu, Channels Television News.